The universe expands, yet the truth remains, still within.
How likely is life beyond Earth? What if life is not rare, but inevitable? For most of human history, we looked at the night sky and saw silence, distant stars, unreachable worlds, and an overwhelming sense of isolation. The idea that we might be alone in the universe felt natural, almost comforting. Earth seemed special, unique, perhaps even the only place where life had managed to emerge. But modern science has slowly dismantled that assumption. The deeper we look into the universe, the more we realize that Earth may not be as special as we once believed. The laws of physics that govern this planet are not unique. The chemistry that allowed life to emerge here is not exclusive. The conditions that made life possible may exist in countless places across the cosmos. And that leads to a question that is no longer philosophical. It is scientific. How likely is life beyond Earth? To understand this, we must first understand what life requires. Life, as we know it, is built on chemistry, complex interactions between molecules that organize into systems capable of growth, reproduction, and adaptation. On Earth, this chemistry is based on carbon, water, and a stable environment where energy flows in a consistent way. At first glance, these conditions may seem rare, but when we examine the universe, they begin to appear surprisingly common. Water has been detected across the cosmos, in comets, on distant moons, in interstellar clouds. Organic molecules, the building blocks of life, have been found floating in space itself. Planets are not unusual. They are everywhere. In fact, most stars we observe appear to have planetary systems. And among these planets, many exist in what scientists call the habitable zone, a region where temperatures could allow liquid water to exist on the surface. This alone changes the equation, because if the ingredients for life are widespread, then the emergence of life may not be a miracle. It may be a process. This idea is captured in one of the most famous scientific frameworks for estimating extraterrestrial life, the Drake equation. Rather than providing a single answer, the equation breaks the problem into parts. It considers how many stars form, how many of those stars have planets, how many of those planets could support life, and how often life actually arises. Even with conservative estimates, the numbers become staggering. There could be thousands, perhaps millions, of life-bearing worlds in our galaxy alone. But probability is not certainty. And this is where things become more complex. Because while simple life may be common, complex life may not be. On Earth, life began relatively early, within a few 100 million years after the planet formed. But it took billions of years for complex organisms to evolve. Intelligence as we understand it, appeared very late in the history of life. This suggests something important. The emergence of life might be easy, but the emergence of intelligent life might be extremely rare. And that brings us to one of the most unsettling ideas in modern science, the Great Filter. The Great Filter is a hypothesis that suggests there is a barrier or a series of barriers that prevent life from reaching advanced stages of development. These barriers could occur at any point in the evolution of life. Perhaps most planets never develop life at all. Perhaps life emerges, but rarely becomes complex. Perhaps intelligent civilizations almost always destroy themselves before reaching advanced technology. Or perhaps the filter lies ahead of us, and we have not reached it yet. This idea connects directly to the Fermi Paradox. If life is likely, and the universe is so vast, then why do we not see evidence of other civilizations? Why is the universe so quiet? There are many possible explanations. One possibility is distance. Even if intelligent civilizations exist, the distances between stars are so enormous that communication may be nearly impossible. Signals weaken over time. Civilizations may rise and fall before their signals ever reach another world. Another possibility is time. The universe is billions of years old, but civilizations may only exist for relatively short periods. Two civilizations would need to exist at the same time and be close enough to detect each other. The odds of that alignment may be extremely small. There is also the possibility that we are simply not looking in the right way. Our methods of detection are based on our own technology, radio signals, light, chemical signatures. But an advanced civilization may use forms of communication we cannot yet understand or detect. They may be invisible to us, or we may be invisible to them. And then there is a more philosophical possibility. Perhaps intelligence does not always lead to expansion. Perhaps advanced civilizations turn inward rather than outward. They may focus on virtual realities, internal systems, or forms of existence that do not leave detectable traces in space. In that case, the universe would appear silent, not because it is empty, but because we are not listening in the right way. Despite all these uncertainties, the search continues. Scientists are scanning the skies for signals. Telescopes are analyzing the atmospheres of distant planets, searching for signs of biological activity. Missions are being planned to explore oceans beneath the surfaces of icy moons in our own solar system. We are no longer guessing. We are investigating, and every year the evidence grows. New planets are discovered. New data is collected. New possibilities emerge. But perhaps the most important shift is not in what we find. It is in how we think. Because the question of life beyond Earth is not just about aliens. It is about understanding life itself. If life exists elsewhere, then it is not an accident. It is a pattern, a natural outcome of the universe. And if that is true, then the universe is not just a place where matter exists. It is a place where complexity emerges, where systems organize, where, under the right conditions, awareness may arise, and that leads to a deeper realization. The universe may not be indifferent. It may be generative, not because it intends to create life, but because its structure allows it. Because the laws of physics do not prevent life, they permit it. And perhaps, given enough time and enough space, permission becomes inevitability. So the question changes. It is no longer, are we alone? It becomes, how many times has life already happened? And perhaps even more importantly, what does it mean if we are not unique? Because if life exists elsewhere, then somewhere, on a distant world, under a different sky, another form of awareness may be asking the same question, looking into the darkness, searching for answers, waiting for a signal, and wondering if they are alone, still within